Chapter 9. This is how I make sure I am the first one to see old Mr. Jolly's new wife. I run to my swing as many times a day as I can get away from Mirabelle and her chores and her manners book. I start pumping my legs and look over at Belle and Anna May, who are resting under the butternut tree. I ask them if they are sick of hearing all about how a young lady must avoid a loud tone of voice and also avoid laughing too much and too easily. They tell me they are. I get to pumping and swinging high enough to look straight into our loft and watch Big Pumpkin Face soak up the sun on a pile of hay. And when I get up just a little higher, I can poke my head out and see clear up our road almost all the way to Evangeline's store. And then, wouldn't you know it, late in the day when Mirabelle is napping and Ivy is supposed to be picking string beans, I see old Mr. Jolly's truck coming down the road. I'm so excited about seeing somebody new I can hardly breathe. Spending all day every day with only Ivy and Peter and Bertie and especially Mirabelle is like eating the same plate of peas every day, all day, morning, noon, and night. I try and keep pumping my legs high so I can get a good look at old Mr. Jolly's wife. Higher, 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 I push my legs. Higher, 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 my swing goes. At the split second, old Mr. Jolly's truck is close enough for me to almost see in the front window. Are there 3 people in there? My swing starts going down. So quick as I can, I push my legs and then I'm up, up, up again, looking past our barn, and I see old Mr. Jolly pull into the driveway and get out and go around to open the door on the other side of the truck. And hey, wait a minute. Who's that sitting in the middle? Then I'm going down again, and I give my legs a good talking to and get myself back up again. A lady climbs out of the truck, and she is wearing trousers, and they are red pepper red. I never saw a lady wearing trousers before, except maybe overalls, sometimes for chores. I wonder if where she comes from in Mississippi, all the ladies wear trousers. Of course, just as these thoughts are filling up my head, my swing is going down again, so I kick my feet as hard as I believe possible because I want to see who else is in that truck. And that is a mistake because just as I'm getting myself higher than I've ever been before, I hear something crack and I feel something snap, and I go sailing in the direction of old Mr. Jolly's new wife. My knees grind into the gravel, and little bits of stone cut into the skin under my shoulder and my cheek as I roll over and over on the road. And finally, when I come to a stop, I'm lying with my arm underneath me. Old Mr. Jolly's new wife is screaming, as if maybe she isn't too used to seeing girls go flying off their swings and landing in the middle of the road. Sweet Jesus, old Mr. Jolly is saying. I'm all knocked out and I want to cry, but I don't know how. I also cannot tell them that I am not dead. Pretty soon after that, old Mr. Jolly reaches under and picks me up and carries me into his house and sets me on the couch. I notice he has cut his hair and trimmed his beard. He's wearing a suit, which is surely something I've never seen him in before. The new Miss Jolly tucks a pillow under my head. Then there's a lot of hurrying around on the new Mrs. Jolly's part and a lot of movement of my arm. And it does hurt something awful. And it seems I'm still knocked out because I can't remember how to talk. So I don't. Well, at least it's not broke, I hear old Mr. Jolly. Oh, wait, sorry. Well, at least it's not broke, I hear old Mr. Jolly say. You better go get her mother, the new Mrs. Jolly says. And then I hear old Mr. Jolly tell her to shush because there isn't any mother, not anymore. And I'm fading out while I'm trying to tell him, yes, yes, there is. She lives up on the hill by the river now. Her father's building roads. Then who does she live with? I hear old Mr. Jolly groan, and I think in my half-asleep, knocked-out way that I didn't know anyone else thought Mirabelle was as bad as I did. I hear the new Mrs. Jolly talking again, and I think her voice is as soft as the buttercup sound when they wake each other up in the morning. Soon the new Mrs. Jolly is mopping my face and washing my arm and knees with soapy water, and then that's when I start opening my eyes, just a little teeny sliver at a time. Then old Mr. Jolly is propping me up, and the new Mrs. Jolly is trying to get me to drink some water. And that's when I see there is someone else in the room.